This is playtime. This is when we welcome kids to the room. We get to know them. We get to encourage them to want to sit with us later in our small groups. And we're starting here with Mr. Kirk.
Hi, Mr. Kirk.
He's our 2-year-old leader in this video, and you can see he's playing with some of the 2-year-olds here.
That's right. In this video, we have 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and 5 through kindergartens in one room together. So you can see all of the age groups using the curriculum together.
We usually split it into smaller groups, like we'll have the 2s in one room, 3s in another, 4s in a room, and 5s in a room. But since we had this one opportunity to show all the interaction, we wanted to have different small groups for each age instead.
Put them under that tree.
Mr. Kirk is getting to know the kids in his group, so they'll feel comfortable sitting in his group later.
Oh, Samantha, that's me. I'm
Hi,
that girl in the
Sam.
red jeans in the middle. And I'm playing with some of these girls. Now, they are not all girls in the age group that I will be sitting with later. I noticed Ellie is actually going to be in Mr. Tommy's group. So I'm pointing him out to her. He's waving. And when he kind of finishes up with his kids over there, he's going to come over and introduce himself as well. So then Ellie knows, oh, I'm going to get to sit with Mr. Tommy today.
That's awesome. Small group, or playtime is not just about playtime. It's also about learning who is your small group. Who are your little friends you're going to be with all day today? Who is your leader who's going to be helping you out through the whole day?
And there's a lot of different ways to divide kids into small groups. Some people like to do it where they know who's going to have which kids at the beginning, and they stick with those kids the whole time. I usually just play with all the kids in the room and encourage my other leaders to do that as well, and kids choose their leader when we actually sit down in small groups together.
True.
And I saw your name pop up there, Miss Heather.
That's me. I've
Where
got
are
the
you?
camera.
Oh,
And
you're
that's my
behind the
little buddy.
camera there, huh?
Yes. I was acting as a support person in the room. And I know this little boy who's by himself. I'm using the sign for playtime. I'm letting him know that we're doing playtime now. I know that this child is nonverbal, but it does not mean that you can't communicate with a child and have a lot of fun with them and make sure they're having fun and feeling safe. If a parent ever does drop a child off in your room, and if the parent mentions, hey, my child has special needs, maybe they'll say, oh, my boy has autism, he's nonverbal. You might just ask, okay, how does he or she usually let you know if they need potty or if they need help? Those are some good things to make sure you just know how to deal with the emergency needs for the child.
Good job.
Otherwise, you're going to just have a fun day like any other child usually.
Is that a moon
I love
bounce?
what
Here.
Kirk does here
put
because
your
he's
person
playing
over
with
on
the
the table. Go
kids,
put your
and
person on
then
the table.
they want to go the moon bounce, and they
you can
bring the
jump.
toys with them.
Oh, yes.
He encouraged them to take them back to the
Put your
center and
shoes up
leave them
against the
there
wall. Put
before
your
they
shoes up against
transition
the
to the
wall.
next thing.
Yes.
That really helps to keep the toys much
There you
more
go.
organized,
Walking
gives the
feet,
kids
please.
more
Walking feet.
boundaries, so they don't
Okay,
feel like
walking
it's just
feet.
a free-for-all. It sets the tone of the room really well.
That's exactly right.
Oh, now this is
No.
our friend. He was on the moon bounce, and he had to get off to give someone else a turn.
Oh, yeah, that
And
is
it-
upsetting.
It was really frustrating for him, and it's his first time with all these grown-ups. He doesn't know any of us.
He doesn't know some of the other kids in the room either.
That is true, because we have several different
is-
ages mixed together, which he's also not used to.
One thing he's showing us is I'm not comfortable with this room just yet. So you are not threatening him. You're not telling him, you naughty boy, stop running away. No,
That's
heavens
right.
no.
I'm trying to pretend like I'm cleaning up a mess and talking to him not in a non-threatening way. I'm not trying to confront him and
Looks like it's my turn. And
Yeah.
my camera faced the same direction as my face. So I turned away from him so he wouldn't feel too threatened, but he wasn't feeling that either, and he wanted his space.
I noticed you didn't block him into the corner either. He had a
right.
clear escape route if he was uncomfortable with that contact.
Yes, which he was. He let me know that by running away. And I let him have that space.
Hi, Ellie.
So did you give up with him, or did you continue to reach out with him?
Absolutely not. At all times, I had one eye on him, just to see, is he comfortable? Is he going to act out in a way that might hurt another child, or is he just upset? Mostly, he was just upset and wanted to be by himself. You can see him back there with a pot, not quite ready to play with the other kids, but not quite at the corner of the room either, which is progress.
And Mr. Tommy did great here. We kept him next to our moon bounce. All of our rooms have a large gross motor toy in them. In this particular one, it's a moon bounce. And it's really great to have a leader stay there with the toy so that they can help kids take turns safely.
And
so
play
they
with
can
it appropriately,
yes,
too. Yes.
Absolutely. And these kind of toys also encourage kids to kind of start squealing with glee
I think it's an outdoor
getting a little
voice.
noisy. Yes. And so it's great to have someone to remind them
We're still
to
inside.
use the inside voices.
Yes. Look at you, Miss Sam, with your door skills.
Thank you so much for bringing Colton today.
I try to
Talking
say
to the
something
parent.
nice.
Yeah.
But I also try to let them have enough space to be able to write their child's name down. Because I know when I try to write and talk at the same time, I just can't even make it through.
No, true.
Now, her son was upset. He came in. He wasn't ready for all this, so he was having a rough time.
Oh.
So you'll get to see kind of how we help him self-soothe. You'll see I'm not just holding him close to me
Right.
like
That's
a
right.
baby. I'm giving him room.
She wants.
He didn't want me to even hold him, really.
No.
So I listened to that cue.
Oh, on the floor.
And I talked to him. I didn't want him to feel like he was alone and
I like
left
the soothing
out.
touch, too. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to scoop the child up to give them soothing touch. You can pat their back and do just as well. And still let them soothe themselves.
Yes. I'm acknowledging his feelings too. You'll see some other kids come up and ask how he's
Is it okay
feeling.
if I rub your back?
And I heard you say, is it okay if I rub your back?
Yes.
So you're still letting him have some choices.
Yes.
Even though he had no choice as to being dropped into this
Yeah.
room.
He
You're
would have rather
offering.
said no to that.
Right. But now he gets to choose if you rub his back or not.
And he was okay with that. He enjoyed
Yeah.
that touch.
Who wouldn't?
And it was appropriate.
Exactly. You know, I've made the mistake before of overly cuddling a child, maybe just hugging them until they calm down. And that has backfired on me because they're unable to separate from me for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you were just patting his back, letting him soothe himself on his own. So that, look at, he's sitting up already.
This is his mommy. He really loves her a lot.
And then his friends came over to ask about him
He
and
loves
check
his
on
mommy
him.
a
That's
lot.
so
He
sweet.
just misses her right
But he eventually was able to get up and play on his own.
Yes.
Without having to be Velcroed to you. You're not even his small group leader.
When it was time to transition into cleanup time, I let him know what was going on. And he still decided to sit there and stay. But you'll see throughout this whole course of videos how he gets completely engaged. He's having a great time. He connects actually a lot with you, Miss Heather.
Yes, we did. We had some good time together later.
Mommy had to go and do her service time.
And I like how you did let the kids know the transition is coming, time to put shoes
Yes.
on, we're about ready
That's
to clean
going on
up.
right here. I got told it's time to clean up.
I'm going to go get people started.
I give him the
cleaning up,
warning.
right?
Right.
And we move on to the next thing.